Chapter 32, Being Far Too Kind. Can it pay off? How to manage to say no to avoid catastrophes. People's ability to single out scapegoats. By now, Freiman had had enough of the massive flood of information in the media society he had been born into. Not only through school and education, that could be justified. It was about learning to read, calculate, and write, basic knowledge needed to get by in society, but the enormous access to information in adulthood had become unbearable. True. He had included music sociology in his field of study, and he had also received instruction in violin. The fiddle became a good friend when the days overwhelmed him with far too many tasks and problem areas. He was easy to ask, consequently. He said yes to various positions and outposts of responsibility. Some positions people didn't want, because they knew how much unpaid work followed. Whoever voluntarily took on these tasks would eventually also be held responsible for everything bad that followed, if the assignment happened to be associated with honor and prestige. It was often trivialized or completely ignored. The lesson was not to wear oneself out on tasks that relieved others of extra work and responsibility, not to be kind and help others only to receive criticism and scolding afterwards. Freiman drew a horror example of this from his countless visits to music festivals. This example did not affect Freiman directly, but a good fellow student got to experience the worst sides of stepping in and being helpful in a critical situation. His friend Ola had just started the music technology program at the University of Central Norway. He was known in the scene as a magician at the mixing desk and with the hookup of large networks of cables for studio recordings. He also worked part-time as a sound engineer at the city's best recording studio. Freiman had brought Ola along to the annual rock festival where Trunda rock was the gospel. Ola planned to enjoy a day in the sun among festive audiences. People streamed in, and this year the entire festival area was truly packed. Ola and Freiman had found a nice spot a reasonable distance from the stage and were in the process of making a small lunch on the grass. Suddenly a couple of breathless guys from the organizer team came straight over to Ola. "Ola, you have to help us. The guy who's supposed to run the sound has fallen ill. And his substitute is ill too." Ola thought to himself, he knew that both had gone to a moonshine festival the night before, so that illness had a familiar name. "Ola, you have to help us. The first band is ready backstage, but the entire sound system is unassembled." Ola got the picture, figured it was an emergency, interrupted lunch, and went along to the control center out in the middle of the festival grounds. He noted that very little was connected, did a quick review of the entire setup, jogged lightly between the connection boxes, and got the whole network of cables in place. He had barely sat down behind the mixer before the first band thundered onto the stage. There was still no sound in the microphones, and the panning didn't seem to work. The band tested the microphones again and again, but still no sound. They began to get irritated, and abusive language could be heard from the stage. Troubleshooting was initiated. Some from the organizing team rushed around looking for possible connection errors. Eventually there was sound in the system and the band launched into it. The sound was utterly crap, but more than anything the band itself was a disaster. Sour guitars, sour vocals, lots of distortion, and a drummer out of sync. After the first song, accusations streamed in directed at the sound man. They hadn't had sound in the stage monitors, they hadn't heard what they themselves were playing. And naturally the sound man got the blame. Ola made the absolute best of the situation and fixed the monitor sound with a couple of moves. The band rattled off a few more songs, but in doing so proved beyond doubt that they could neither play nor sing. Next band on stage, the Old Rockers. This was geezer rock to the max. Midway through the set, The sound system was attacked by an irritating humming noise. It increased in intensity. And by the end of the set, the old rockers were marinated in a vibrating fundamental tone that was measured at 6.3 on the Richter scale. Abusive language followed from the stage. And the swearing spread to the audience. People covered their ears and were irritated and angry. Naturally, the sound man got the blame. He was yelled at relentlessly. And on the count of 3, by the third band, the entire concert was cancelled. Freiman came to Ola's rescue when violent tendencies were about to make the situation dangerous. They slipped out of the festival area and got to safety in Freeman's car a little further down the street. Faster than lightning they sped away, drove to the city of Trondheim in great haste.